run by. I don't think it's going to work. XSS is aware of the location of those lings. So you did see them run up there. We can see the Phoenix just going to continue doing a lot of scouting. XSS has very good information, although Pokekri does know what he needs to know now, which is that there's Colossus on the map. We can see an Ultralisk then going down. This is a very, very unique playstyle by Zerg. It's something that has been popular on ladder. It's sort of decreasing in popularity recently, but it's good on a map with wide open areas like Shakira's Plateau. We can see those Phoenix being very annoying, picking off Overlords, which is basically you get a bunch of upgraded Ling Bane, maybe with some Infestors, you get Cracklings, and then you get an Ultralisk Cavern. And basically what that does is the Ultralisk stomp force fields. So you'll send the Ultralisk forward, he'll cast all his force fields, the Ultralisk stomp the force fields, the Banelings come in and kill everything. Now, if he backs up, obviously the Cracklings come around back and grab any sort of retreating Colossus. It's a really, really interesting and nice strategy, and honestly, if the Protoss does no pressure now. He has pressure with these Phoenix, but it really hasn't been enough. Pokekri has drawn really heavily behind it, and we can see that, wow, he actually hasn't drawn as heavily as I thought. And he's really not macroing as well as his opponent. The problem is that this wide open map with all this creep spread is going to really make it hard for any sort of push. But XSS could possibly just sit back, take a fourth, feel very safe, and get ahead. Now, we do see Pokekri is now pounding out turns. It's just really interesting. It's this weird mix of making units, making drones. Typically, you wanted to do one or the other. If you mix them both, you're either not optimizing your army or you're not optimizing your economy. And it really is his lack of scouting that's hurting him at this point. His early game scouting was so poor that he made a bunch of units that he really didn't need. And that sent him back. We can see that a Forge is now going down for XSS. I do believe that's his first Forge. So he doesn't have any upgrades yet, and obviously Pokekri is going to have a huge advantage here with 2-2 and all of his units. I would say Pokekri has the better army here, but he has to win right now because his economy is not quite kicked in yet, although he does have this fourth, which he is now saturating. I assume as soon as the Gelatinous Plating, oh, but said that right, the melee attacks 3 and the Carapace 3, he will attack. Yes, XSS being a 0-0 is probably going to lose in this game at this point, as the Ultras, the Banes, and the Banes are going to do so much splash damage. First of all, it's this nicely packed ball. The Cracklings are extremely effective against Stalkers, and Ultras are also good against Stalkers. Basically, the Cracklings trap everything, even though he has Blink, and then if he blinks away, he leaves the Colossus unprotected. It's just a bit of a catch-22 for him. We do see Aspire going out from Pokekri, but XSS really, he needs to do some sort of reaction to this. Immortals are not the right reaction. Immortals, a lot of people like to get Immortals because they soak up Banelings, but honestly, Archons are a lot better, a lot cheaper, and do a ton more damage to Zerglings. Immortals do a lot of damage, but they do it in slow, one-shot bursts. And when you have an army that looks like this, of course the Immortals are good against the Ultras, but honestly the only purpose of the Ultras is to break down the force fields. So Immortals are good against Ultras, yes, but on the other hand, I would love to see Archons, because Archons are very good against pretty much everything in this composition. And the Banelings, if you surround them with the Archons, you have good force fields. Yeah, the force fields do last for a second. Try and trap the Banelings, and then the Banelings all crash into the Archons, and the Archon's splash damage against the Lings is so heavy. You only have 3 Ultras. I mean, he can handle the Ultras with the rest of his force, although the upgrades, again, are going to be killer. He does have 1-1, and he is not... He's getting a Fleet Beacon. Fleet Bacon. Almost sounded like Husky StarCraft. He's getting a Fleet Beacon. This is just a really interesting... XSS, I think, is very confused right now. He's a Protoss at a maxed army that's not attacking, which is, first of all, quite odd. And second of all, he's getting a Fleet Beacon. He's taking a fourth, maybe, sort of. It looks like Pokekri's getting ready to push here. I think XSS really isn't sure how to respond to this composition, and is rather confused right now. We can see a Ling run by going up here in the fourth, possibly trying to distract it. We can see Pokekri's army is staging up for a big battle here in the middle. This is going to be really interesting. This is where the action happens. You can see the Banelings rolling in. He is going to back out. Nice force fields there. Nice force fields. Pokekri needs to get those Ultras at the front of his composition if he wants to use any damage with them. And then he is going to send the Ultras to the front. We can see the army is going to come down here to the Death Ball. And he is going up. Here comes the Death Ball. Here come the Ultras. The Ultras come down in the front. The force fields aren't going to do anything. These Banelings are just absolutely going to eat this Death Ball. You can see, blinks back. The Stalkers, or the Colossi, are completely exposed. And Pokekri does kill the big, expensive units in the army. He needs to remacro an army very, very quickly, though. Otherwise, he is going to be in trouble. We can see he's going up here to get these Lings, but I would say that was a victory for Pokekri as long as he remacros an army quickly. I would love to see him remacro on Roaches. I disagree. I do think that was a victory for Pokekri. As long as he remacros the right army and attacks right away, he needs to deny this third. We can see a Mothership is coming out for XSS as well as Ground Armor 2. Pokekri, I think, needed more Banelings, but I don't know. We'll see. He does have a nice little Stalker Ball with one Colossus left there. Running around doing all sorts of damage. 4 Ultras coming out. The Immortals now I do think makes sense because it's not going to be as heavy of a composition of Lings as it was before, and he is a little bit further ahead, although he is pumping out a lot of Lings now as I say that. We can see the Colossus and the Stalkers are moving down here with 5 sentries. It's just a really interesting time in the game. It's a little awkward. We can see him trying to retake this 4th. 2-2's about to finish. 2 more Colossus in production and a Mothership. I just will see. And I don't think he's going to go carriers. Obviously, we do see the Gravitic boosters coming out, which is, I believe, is a increase in warp prism speed. I'm not even sure. Where is the fleet beacon? Here we go. Yeah, I do believe that's an increase in warp prism speed. It's upgraded this. Oh, observer speed. Oh, I'm so foolish. I feel like such a fool. This is why I don't play Protoss. We do see a Dark Shrine as well going down. On Poke's side, he's just making more and more Banelings. I think a Roach Corruptor tech switch might be good. I don't know. This is a tough spot he's put himself in. No, I don't know what tech switch would be proper right now. I think he just needs to keep going with this. This Immortal heavy composition, though, is going to do quite well against the remaining Ultras, and it's going to soak up a lot of Bane damage. Poke's does need to hit again. He cannot let this Colossus Ball get any bigger with 2 more Colossus coming out and a Mothership. He doesn't have any detection. However, Banes can blow up things that aren't detected, but you have to manually set them off, and without anything that shoots air and detection, he can get his Banelings Vortex. He does need to get out of here. He needs 2 Overseers, 3 Overseers right now to make sure that he can see everything so he can blow it up with his Banelings. Here comes the Protoss Ball. He's going around killing creep everywhere. This is now a very scary army, because the army which you cannot see is the army which you cannot kill. Here comes Poke's with the Ultras and the Banelings in the back. The Banelings do a surround. They're going to collapse in on this. He can't see it. He needs to manually detonate these Banelings. He needs to click them and hit X. He needs to hit X. He will blow everything up. Hit X right now. When he doesn't appear that he is doing that. He does kill a lot of the army. He is streaming into the main here. We can see the Banelings here picking off the remaining forces. The Ultras are here at the front. The Banelings taking out the Stalkers, and XSS does GG. Very awkward game. That's all I have to say, is that was an awkward game, and we will move on to Game 5 with the series at 3-1.